Hello there everybody, my name is Creepy Truckee and welcome to the channel Mother Chicken Siamese. And today we're gonna do a video about how to draw if you can't draw. And what can you draw if you can't draw? You can start with a monocolor t-shirt, basically a one color t-shirt design. And what are we talking about? Well, it's something like this. Hang on a second, let's bring this down and we'll show you what I'm talking about. This right here is not focusing very well. It's a t-shirt design called Time Fiction, based on Pulp Fiction and Doctor Who. Over there you can see the t-shirt printed with such a design from shirtoid.com. But we're basically we're being inspired by this design here. And as you can see, the design has only one color. It's just white to be printed on the black t-shirt. And what this does, it makes it really cheap to print the design on a screen printing process. Oh dear, Coral Cat is gonna interrupt here. Bye Coral Cat. Shoo, cush, cush. No, okay. Is she gonna come back this way, Coral Cat? Never mind. Anyways. Oh, she is. Come on, Coral. Meow. Anyways, back to the t-shirt design. Let's do this t-shirt design. I want to do a t-shirt design just like this, but instead of Matt Smith and David Tennant, we're gonna change the heads of the two of the YouTubers that I really like. Okay, and we start by bringing up the movie frame of Pulp Fiction. There it is, Travolta and Jackson. And what we do is bring up a pen in Photoshop, put a layer over this, and we start tracing this picture. How do we trace, and what we want to trace is all the areas that are white or brightly lit. Basically anything that looks like white. Here we go. And we use a pink color ink, basic pen, and then we just start drawing the outlines of the boundaries between the white areas, anything brightly lit that looks white, and the black areas, like this suit over here. We just trace that. We're going to use this later to help us paint the design. Good grief! And yeah, like this, like this, like this. Now what we want to do is, as you can see, my drawing skills are not that very good myself. And of course, if you make a mistake like this, too much ink over here, we just take the eraser and we chip it back until the line is more or less accurate. Remember, we're just sketching, so we don't need to be too accurate. We just want to get the major areas all outlined. And to show what the progress will look like eventually, here is one I've done earlier. As you can see, it's mostly sketched out already. And Coral Cat's wants cuddles over there. She's meowing. And here we go. Then we can take away the photo backing now, and you can see the trace outline. And what we want to do from here on, well, because it's still Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson's head over here, so we got to change that because that's to get the art out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sketch from photo references of the heads I want to put there. Now let me introduce you to Doomcock and Gary from the Neurotic. Okay, let's change the. We're going to change the backdrop to a gray backdrop so we can see them more clearly. And what we want to do is we want to sketch out the design of, well, basically sort of the heads. Sketch out the heads over Travolta's and Jackson's heads. We're going to zoom in for that. In the case of Doomcock, he's wearing a helmet. It's very angular, so we can draw the lines out quite easily. It's like, here we go. I mean, it's like instead of a nose, you have something like flat feature on his mask, and then you have this M-looking thing over his mouth, and then draw it like such, and like such. Remember, it's all like a mask over the face. So this structure that appears to be some kind of breathing apparatus, we draw it over the chin, right in front of the mouth of Travolta over here, and do that. And then we just put the eye slits like as if it's a pair of glasses of the mask in front of what Travolta's eyes would be. And then from there we work out all the structures. Now if you can't draw, this part can get really tricky. So it's like, it might be beneficial, easier to do if you just, you know, Photoshop someone's head over the desired person over the original tracing of the still frame from the movie. Now Gary is a little bit harder, Gary from Neurotic, but all we have to do, we can start on the glasses because that's what it looks like most. We just put a thing in the big glasses. Remember, we're just sketching, so it's not necessary to be overly accurate, but we just use the old tracing of Samuel L. Jackson as a reference to put out where the glasses is going to go. And once we figure out the glasses, oh dear, it doesn't look very good. Now remember to clean it up, because if you want to have a nice lines to paint on, but it's just a sketch, so you don't need to worry too much about that. You probably have to change the nose a little bit. Gary had sort of a straight nose and a pointy bit over there, and a bit of a nostril. And don't, oh dear. Right, we have to select the brush again, we select the right layer again. No, we got the wrong color. Dang it. Darn that cat. No, we are using black this time because we're drawing on top of the pink. And then of course we're gonna put this mustache on, and we do this is this beard thingy, and then we carry on and you work at it, and eventually we'll finish up this picture of the sketch of the heads. And here's one I've done earlier. I had to, as you can see, I have to move the head a little bit because it doesn't quite line up, and it looks weird with the original position of the head. So I had to change the sketch a little bit to move them in position and resize them a little bit, but you can see it's still pretty sketchy. Okay, the next step in the process will be to contrast paint. Basically, you got to paint out the white, and you bring out the white brush, and what you do is you paint white on areas that has been looks white in the photo, original photo frame from the movie, or areas that would be illuminated by light source. Now from the photo source, you can see the light source is somewhere like this way, using this arrow over here. We can leave the arrow in there for the moment as a reference, and you can sort of guess how the helmet, Doomcock's helmet, will light up. So you're just going to paint it white like so. Maybe leave a little gap there just so that there will be a little bit of black to use as an outline. But it's not really black, it's just lack of ink. So when you paint it against, when this design is printed on a black fabric, the black will show through. And you paint out the white areas or any other areas that's going to be exposed to the light. And you paint this out like so. This part is basically filled in. And once again, I'm going to show you what example I've done earlier. Here we go. And now we're going to bring back out the black backdrop, remove the tracing outlines. Hang on. Remove the sketch, remove the tracing, and you can now see the design as it is finished. Now before you get there, you will have to clean it up a little bit, because what you do is you zoom in and oops, wrong. You zoom in and see any rough edges, and you just take an eraser and clean it out, and slowly adjust until you get the image that you want. But the key thing here is, oh dear, what's that? What's that over here? Well, this is a bit of tracing. Oops. Let's clean that up. Now the key thing is to just paint it in one color, and then and because this is made from a tracing of a photograph, the outlines look very realistic, and because it's printed against a high contrast background, it looks very striking. Relatively easy to do, requires very little skill. If you find it hard, just keep trying again. You should have no problem eventually. And that's how you draw if you can't draw, and how you can create a monocolor t-shirt design. Now next time when I finish making that video, I'll show you how to draw another design. This little thing over here, a nice pretty little design of wings with a 2-letter monogram. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. And you can find me on Twitter if you search Mother Chicken Siamese, and that's where I'll post all the updates and new video updates. Thank you once again for watching. Have a good day.